Hello and welcome to the new moon video for the new moon in Ashlesha Nakshatra on the 2nd of August 2016. The moon's exactitude of being new will take place approximately at about 9:45 p.m. UK time. If you go online, I'm sure you can figure out when that is in your own particular time zone. Some things that I wanted to talk to you about today are how we can make the best of the worst. Now, I can sense in your head you're going, okay, here he is trying to give me a consolation prize for some situation that's going to be absolutely horrendous. Well, no, not really. I'm really just trying to bring your perspective to something so that when or if a situation happens, you'll be able to approach it with the proper awareness. Because sometimes we can get so deeply wrapped up in something that we don't see anything else other than what we're dealing with. And if that's a problem, if we're becoming completely wrapped up in a problem, then we miss that little bit of potential that is contained within that particular problem, right? So a lot of how we can deal with that and actually potentially make something good out of something that's difficult is determined by our awareness that we apply to the situation. Our level of awareness is going to be intricately connected to our capacity for patience with the process. And these are all key themes in terms of this particular new moon, right? Sometimes we get so, I want to use the word antsy for a solution, right? And sometimes we think that we're actually taking the right approach by taking action immediately, when sometimes the best thing for us to do is to wait. Sometimes a problem can seem larger than it actually is. And then if you give that problem like a little bit of time, it actually turns out to not necessarily be a problem. And sometimes you can try to solve a problem, rack your brain up against, a brick wall, kind of trying to beat the solution into your head. And it's not going to work, right? Or if you think it does work and you take specific actions based upon what you're picking up on, then things begin to kind of head in a difficult direction. More calamity gets created. You get pulled deeper into that sense of calamity, that depth of difficulty, till that's all that you're able to see, right? And with this particular new moon, the yoga on the day of the new moon, the solar lunar yoga, will be Vyatipata, which has a tendency to create a degree of calamity and confusion. And unless you're able to just go with the flow, for lack of a better way to put it, pay attention, accept that calamity is there and there's some difficulty there. Unless you're able to do that, then you may get pulled in more deeply and actually make some poor choices. Because of the Karana on this particular new moon, Naga Karana, there's the desire to strike out or take things by force or take an action because you feel like it absolutely can't wait. When in actuality, being a little more patient with the process that's developing would serve you well. We actually have ongoing aspects this week between Saturn and the new moon and Mars to Mercury and Venus. And we've got Mercury in Purva Palguni Nakshatra. I'm not going to go into each individual component. Venus in Magha Nakshatra. Mars is in Anuradha Nakshatra, and Saturn is in Jyeshta Nakshatra. So Saturn's in Mercury's Nakshatra. Let's go a little bit into it, okay? Because Mercury's in Purva Palguni, there is the potential in this particular week that you'll think that you have an answer or the wisdom that you need in order to create a solution. And so then using that energy and tuning into Venus's position in Magha Nakshatra, you then just decide to get on with things and put a nagging sense of doubt behind you. When in reality, because of Saturn's position in Jyeshta tying in with Mercury and how Mercury is not yet favored in the sky, but will be very soon, your sense of perspective is somewhat askew. And you need to use Mars appropriately. Now, as I'm saying that, you're thinking, I need to take action then. Well, you do need to take action, but the action that you need to take is one that's based on restraint because of Mars's position in Anuradha Nakshatra. And you need to wait until you have the right perspective on things. And if you kind of pause, you might actually have that perspective quicker than you think. But we've got this new moon that's tying in with the sun and the moon, both in Ashlesha Nakshatra. And because of Mercury's position in the sky and the fact that Mercury rules Ashlesha Nakshatra, the tendency is to get deeply, deeply drawn into something that is seemingly a problem. And then the moment that you think that you have an answer, you get deeply drawn into that potential answer before you've really kind of checked it to make sure if it's a good thing to really go with. So the key here is perspective. And the key to the perspective that you need is going to be patience. Right? Give things, I would say until like the 4th or the 5th. You'll begin to have a clearer sense of things. You'll be able to see things in the balance a lot more effectively, right? And you can actually use this time, as calamitous as it might be, as difficult as it might be, as confusing and chaotic as it might be, you can actually use that chaos and confusion to learn from all the things that are coming to the surface, right? Sometimes our frustration is our best teacher. Sometimes our depression can be our best teacher. Sometimes our anger can be our best teacher. But we have to approach all those things with patience. And we have to approach all those things with perspective. And when we approach all those things with perspective, then our awareness is heightened. And with heightened awareness in dealing with this new moon energy, then we begin to see the potential. If you'd like to schedule in a consultation with me, I thought I would mention that there is a link at the bottom of the page, or I should say at the bottom of the video, that will take you directly to my astrological services page where you can book the service of your choice with me. That's going to do it for your new moon video for the new moon of the 2nd of August, 2016. Until next time, please do take the very best care of yourself. Bye now.